Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., where even Trump is being nice to Joe Biden, this is Ballot.
That's right. Maybe hell did freeze over. Even if just for one tweet, I'm Patrick Gutfield, and former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer that spread to his bones. His office announced it Sunday, saying they're reviewing treatment options for a condition that can be effectively managed. Now, I'm not going to make light of cancer. Cancer is serious business. My thoughts are with the Biden family. But I do have some thoughts about the timing. This news comes right as Democrats are in the middle of their What Went Wrong book club meeting. They're all sitting around wondering if maybe, just maybe, running an octogenarian for the highest office in the land wasn't their best strategic move. By the time Biden stumbled through that debate with Donald Trump last June, it was too late for a plan B. All the other Democrats had already taken themselves out of contention faster than me trying to avoid eye contact with that neighbor who always wants to talk about his lawn care routine. Now everyone's releasing books, second-guessing the whole situation. It's like when you leave a party and immediately start texting everyone still there about what a terrible time you had. Did you see what happened? I told you we shouldn't have gone. Trump, who's 78, posted a message wishing Biden well. And honestly, that's the right move. When your political opponent gets sick, you put politics aside. Kamala Harris also sent well wishes, calling Biden a fighter. And she's right. Joe Biden has faced more personal tragedy than most of us could handle in 10 lifetimes. He lost his first wife and daughter in a car crash, his son Bo to brain cancer, and he's dealt with Hunter's very public struggles. The man has been through it. Biden actually spearheaded the Cancer Moonshot Initiative after losing Bo. He worked with Republicans like Mitch McConnell on cancer legislation. Remember bipartisanship? That's that thing from the history books where people who disagreed politically still accomplished things together. According to doctors, Biden's diagnosis is serious. His cancer scored a 9 out of 10 on the Gleason scale. The last time I scored that high on anything was when I convinced the barista I deserved a free coffee after punching my own loyalty card. Meanwhile, audio recordings of Joe Biden's 5-hour interview with special counsel Robert Hur have finally been released by Axios. These are the interviews where Hur ultimately described Biden as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Spoiler alert, the audio does nothing to dispel that characterization. In one nearly 4.5-minute clip, Biden was asked where he kept papers after leaving office as vice president in 2017. He took a long pause, said, "I don't know," and then rambled about completely unrelated topics like people encouraging him to run for president in 2016. It's the conversational equivalent of typing a question into Google and somehow ending up watching videos of cats riding Roombas. Even more jarring, Biden couldn't remember when his own son Bo died. He asked, "What month did Bo die?" before pausing and saying, "Oh God, May 30th. Then 2 people in the room had to finish his sentence with 2015. Biden actually questioned this, asking, was it 2015 he had died? That's the kind of moment that makes even the most loyal supporter cringe harder than watching someone use their teeth to open a ketchup packet. In another clip, Biden was asked if he knew he had kept a memo about Afghanistan, which is basically Schrodinger's memory. Then when pressed, he admitted, "I guess I wanted to hang on to it, just for posterity's sake." At that point, someone from Biden's team jumped in faster than a parent stopping a toddler from revealing family secrets to strangers. This aide said, "I just really would like to avoid, for the purpose of a clean record, getting into speculative areas," before clarifying that Biden does not recall specifically intending to keep this memo. Translation, please don't make him answer any more questions without me rephrasing them first. President Trump, never one to miss an opportunity, told reporters, "Everybody understands the condition of him. I know people that are 89, 90, 92, 93 years old and are literally perfect. But Joe was not one of them." Biden himself pushed back on claims of cognitive decline during an interview on The View last week, simply stating, "They are wrong. There is nothing to sustain that." Except, these audio recordings and the collective memory of everyone who watched him debate Trump. Meanwhile, top Democrats, including potential 2028 contenders, are facing questions about whether they knew about Biden's decline. It's like they're all being asked, Did you know Grandpa shouldn't have been driving? And if so, why did you let him have the keys to the nuclear codes? Meanwhile, President Trump is taking his beef with Bruce Springsteen to new levels. He's now demanding what he calls a major investigation into the boss, Beyoncé, and Bono for supporting Kamala Harris during her presidential campaign. Because nothing screams stable leadership like declaring war on rock stars and pop divas. Trump jumped on Truth Social early Monday morning with his caps lock firmly engaged. You know, the literary equivalent of a toddler screaming in a grocery store, asking how much did Kamala Harris pay Bruce Springsteen for his poor performance? The president seems convinced Harris paid these celebrities under the guise of paying for entertainment. I mean, who among us hasn't accidentally hired Beyoncé to perform at our birthday party when we were really just trying to buy political influence? Happens all the time. Trump even claimed the Harris campaign paid Beyoncé $11 million to walk onto a stage, quickly endorse Kamala, and walk off to loud booing for never having performed not even one song. Beyoncé's mother, Tina Knowles, completely denied similar claims back in November, saying her daughter did not receive a penny. But why let facts get in the way of a perfectly good conspiracy theory? This all comes after Springsteen called the Trump administration corrupt, incompetent, and treasonous during a concert in the UK last week. Trump responded by calling Springsteen a dried-out prune of a rocker and suggested he keep his mouth shut until he gets back into the country, adding ominously, "Then we'll all see how it goes for him." Springsteen, meanwhile, doubled down at another UK show this weekend, saying, "In my home, they're persecuting people for their right to free speech and voicing their dissent." So it seems the boss isn't backing down, which means we can look forward to more all-caps presidential tantrums about aging rock stars in the days ahead.
What happens when one of the most powerful men in music is accused of some of the most serious crimes imaginable? Check out the new podcast, Did He Do It? Following the federal sex crimes trial of Sean Diddy Combs, coming to you straight from New York City. Every day I'll take you inside the courtroom where prosecutors say Combs ran a criminal enterprise of sex trafficking, coercion, and abuse, using his fame, fortune, and influence to silence victims and control lives. We'll cover the big stories and the small moments that can shift the verdict. The trial has begun. The questions are piling up. And every day we'll be asking the same thing. Did he do it? Follow now wherever you get your podcasts.
Tired of doom scrolling? Want news that won't make you want to live in a bunker? Check out 5 Good News Stories, where they find the silver lining in a world that's usually lined with something much less pleasant. The gang at 5 Good News Stories dig through the headlines to find 5 stories that prove humanity hasn't completely lost its mind. It's pretty much the opposite of this show. From scientific breakthroughs nobody's talking about to random acts of kindness that restore your faith in humanity, all delivered with the cutting wit you deserve. 5 Good News Stories, because sometimes the news doesn't have to suck. Subscribe to 5 Good News Stories wherever you get your podcasts. Pope Leo XIV met with Vice President JD Vance at the Vatican on Monday. That's right, America's second-in-command had a closed-door meeting with the new Pope. Talk about a Catholic power summit. I haven't seen 2 Catholics this excited to get together since my Aunt Teresa discovered her neighbor also watches The Chosen. This meeting comes during what experts call a period of tension between the papacy and the White House. And by experts, I mean anyone who's been awake for the past 8 years. The previous Pope, Francis, once said Trump's views were not Christian, which is Vatican speak for, "This guy definitely doesn't follow me on Instagram." After their meeting, Vance gave Pope Leo a Chicago Bears jersey because nothing says I respect your 2,000-year-old religious institution like merchandise from a team that hasn't won a championship in nearly 4 decades. The Bears are so bad, their Hail Marys get sent straight to voicemail. Vance also gave the Pope a copy of St. Augustine's City of God, which was apparently meaningful in Vance's conversion to Catholicism in 2019. You know a book is important when it takes 1,500 years to hit the bestseller list. The meeting has some conservatives hoping for a reset in relations with the Vatican. Pope Francis frequently clashed with Republican priorities, especially on immigration. He was basically the Pope who launched 1,000 angry tweets from right-wing commentators. Interestingly, Pope Leo previously seemed to criticize Vance on social media, but that account has since been deleted. Even popes have tweet regrets. Dear God, please forgive me for what I said about that politician at 3 a.m. after 4 glasses of communion wine. The Pope's oldest brother, who describes himself as a MAGA type, sat next to Second Lady Usha Vance at Leo's inaugural mass. Nothing brings family together like awkward political small talk while waiting for religious ceremonies to begin. Meanwhile, both Leo and Vance separately met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky's probably thinking, great, now I have to explain the war to 2 more people who can't actually send me the weapons I need. As a diplomatic gesture, the Vatican announced the discussions were cordial, which is how the church describes any meeting where nobody gets excommunicated. Portions of today's program were made with the help of JD Vance, saving what would have been a pretty serious show. Get well soon, Joe Biden. And yeah, we used AI to help make this thing. To keep up on the Pope, check out our podcast, White Smoke. And for the complete opposite of the Pope, check out our podcast, Did He Do It?, which is all about the Diddy trial.